Well, hello, crafters. Big D here, running a couple minutes late. Sorry, we trying to straighten things out for the evening. And here we are. Evening, Knox. Ooh, these are a little too strong today. Let's try these. How are these doing? Oh, these are good. These are good. So yeah, a little bit to talk about. Not a ton going on. I mean, there's a lot of rumors, but with Adepticon on the horizon, not a ton of absolutely verifiable stuff on the horizon. We'll know more in a week. Until then, we're just doing some hobbying, clearing, still continuing to clear through our backlog, get through stuff, keep moving forward, and figure out what's next. Everything is great, Mr. Fish. Everything is great. So let's talk about a few things first off. Had a Rogue Trader tournament this past weekend. 24 players. I came in eighth. I did really well actually. 72-79 lost in the first round. 100-41 win in the second round, and an 89-85 win in the third round. Happy Pi Day, Tina. We had a lovely tournament there. We had some lovely pie. We had some black silk or chocolate silk pie. It was lovely. So it was a good tournament. I think it went well. I definitely saw where I can make some improvements to the way I play. I definitely saw some changes to my list that I need to work on. I saw some places I can definitely improve the list as it sits at the moment as I move forward playing guard. I don't know that the extra points I pay for Ursula are needed with the way the nerf went down. Because she can't give the same order multiple times, obviously, her ability to do what I wanted to do initially doesn't work the way I wanted it to because, oh yeah, she can't give the same order multiple times, so it doesn't work the way I wanted it to. So there's no point in paying the extra points for her to give an order 3 times that, in essence, she's really only going to give once. So I think Ursula's going to be off the list. I like the Dorn. I like the way the Dorn performed. So the question is, do I shuffle some more points around and just keep the single Castellan there? And then use the points I used on her to maybe grab a transport for one of the squads of my Karskins, my Kazarkins. I don't know. That's something to talk about when I'm not in a slightly still tired mindset from still thinking about it. I've got everything fresh. I just got to figure that stuff out. But like I said, overall, I did well. I think I did all right. Land of Age of Sigmar. The Regiments of Renown came out this week. I really don't know what to think about those boxes. Um, I really don't know what to think of the regiments of renown. I was looking at the boxes, and I mean, the one of them is basically the Zinch spells and a couple other figures thrown into a box. One of them is the three individual monsters that were introduced for Warcry, all thrown into one box. And the other one's a bunch of swamp orcs from the Cruel Boys kind of thrown together. I was like, yeah, I wasn't, I don't know. Did you get the dwarf one? Okay, I didn't. I don't even think I saw the dwarf one. I did see all the dwarf come, all the new um Caradon stuff come in, and it looks good. I didn't get a chance to look over the codex. It's sealed. I'll probably get a chance to look at it probably next week. I'm on the fence. I really want to like Caradon, but I don't need another army. So it's like, I'm following my ogres for now. I'm following my ogres. But my Slanesh, they're getting their stuff on pre-order next week, as well as the Blades of Corn. So I like that each of the factions are getting a model as they come out. I like that with the Age of Sigmar that they're doing. They're giving a new HQ to every group as they come out. I kind of wish they'd give them a little bit more fanfare. It's weird. Like when 40K has a new book coming out, they the whole marketing machine goes, trumpets and sirens and fanfare about the new book coming out. And Age of Sigmar's like, oh, and this week it's coming out. Yay, new model. And they don't go as nuts. And the thing is, you'd think, and you might say, well, are you really paying attention to social media? I really do. I'm really trying to pay a lot more attention to social media when it comes to the hobby specifically, because I'm trying to look at how other companies and GW present things, because there are some things that get glossed over a lot lately, and I have not been very happy about it. And it's not just GW. I built my giant from my Nords set for Conquest. And you'll notice I had to put like some string and stuff on this arm because this piece that's supposed to go on there, it doesn't really look like I dry fit it up and I put it on, and it's just like it's stuck in his arm. There's no reason for this shield that's on his arm to look like it's on his arm. And as I was building him, I've still got to go back and do a lot of sanding and scraping because as cool as the box art version of these models looked, and there is an overall, it's still a cool model. There were a lot of meld lines on this thing. There was a lot of not matching up pieces on this one. I had to do a lot of additional scraping. I still have a lot of additional scraping to do. I had to do quite a bit of sprue goo putty work. I had pieces that just didn't see. I keep coming back to it. I mean, I keep finding pieces that I know I've cleaned that sprue piece like 3 or 4 times, and they're still like massive. Like, I'm gonna have to come back in here with like files and rakes or something, because there's just pieces that did not go together well. And there are parts of this model that did not, like, they were glued on and there just wasn't a lot of a contact point for pieces to come together. Now I understand they're a small indie company and I give them a lot of leeway and a lot of credit for doing what they're doing. I mean, they immediately tried to jump out and throw hands with the big boys with this models. And they're pretty good. I mean, the finished product is pretty good, but there's a lot more work involved in these. Like I went through a lot of sprue goo, hemming up the back of his legs, hemming up the sides of his arm, getting parts of his robe to come together. There were some pretty egregious, like, fit points where they just didn't. And I got him close, but there was still like this massive, like almost a V-shaped channel where pieces went in. And when you had it together, it's like it didn't look good. And I had to go back in with putty and kind of sculpt in there and get it in there. And like I said, the arm, when he had the shield on there, it just didn't look like it went anywhere. It just looked like there was a piece of board just floating on his arm, and it didn't look right. So, and I dry fit a couple other pieces to see how things worked out. And I took the pieces I liked the most and put them together. I mean, overall, I think aesthetically, it's a great model. And I think once it has paint on it, a lot of the defects I'm noticing will probably be less noticeable. But there definitely were some issues with this model to begin with. And like I said, I think once it's painted, it'll be fine. And I think they'll do fine. But the way they present the box art and the way the model actually is, two very different animals. There's a lot more work involved in getting this thing to look as clean as they do in the box art. I'm not disappointed. I don't want. I don't want to. I don't want to make it sound like I'm bad mouthing them. But I mean, like, you can just see where pieces. Let me see if you can see that there, where those two limbs come together. You can see like this deep ridge, like right here, where these two pieces. You can see it really well like that, like, because you can see that line there. These two pieces are flush together, but then they V out. So again, I'm going to probably do some more putty work on this thing. There is a lot more cleanup on this model that's going to be needed. And I spent a decent amount of time cleaning the individual pieces. But after everything's put together, there's still pieces that just need more putty work. I might have to get in with some green stuff too and kind of fill out some textures in a couple spots, because to get to the V's, I've had to scrape some texture off to get them cleaned up, because you don't see them before you fit the pieces together. So they're still good models. I don't want to say they're bad models, but it definitely reinforces why a giant this size through GW is 3 times the price. The model comes together easier. The lines fit better. There's less to clean up. They do a lot of the hard work for ahead of time. Again, if you're an experienced hobbyist, it's not that big a deal. But there's definitely stuff to be left desired with some of these sculpts. So I got this guy done, and I kind of took a step back before I dove back into the box, because I was seeing where some of the other pieces were doing the same thing, and then was like, no, I am not dealing with that right as of yet. So I will be getting to it, but Parabellum said that they're trying to do better. The thing is, they literally recognize that there are some defects, and they are trying to work with their manufacturer to even redo some of the molds. And I'm wondering if that won't be addressed when they redo some of the molds. Um, Commodore and I talked about this at length because we were so impressed by the letter. And I'm like, oh, I think it's just the flashing. It wasn't just flashing. There are pieces that just do not fit together well. So we'll be fine. But I'm going to love to see what the next generation of these bad boys looks like. Mm. But yeah, I've been paying a lot of attention lately to how different hobby companies deal with their social media because there have been issues lately. There's been issues for a while now, but I mean, like Green Stuff World, there was a lot of hubbub with them over. There was a lot of hubbub with them about how they were dealing with people over the idea of using their color shifters, their chameleon paints. People had to change the names of their color shifting paints. And then they're very defensive about anything said to them. And then you look at people like Army Painter who have been very open. It's like, hey, you guys have been saying that this stuff isn't working very well. This isn't very good. We're taking your feedback. We're going, okay, we need to do better by you. Yes.
I was actually going to toss in the fact that the Green Stuff World spray canisters are no longer legal for shipment.
That's because nothing is being shipped overseas. There was a law change. I was looking into that. There was a law change, so you can't get Green Stuff World's spray cans if they're not already over here. You can't get them anymore. There was a weird law change made by the EU, so they can't ship them overseas anymore.
That's weird.
It's because of the chemicals used in them. So that's why all the GW paints now, all their spray can paints, even though they're not in the EU, so they can try and circumvent some of the issues, they have local sourcing for all their spray paints. So, like, GW paints are made here in Wisconsin. Pale Orc, my guy, it has been far too long. How are you, brother? Yes, I have an off-camera guest. I have a pair of them. I have both the Plague Child and Lady D. Lady D has been busy working on some other art. She has an almost finished piece here that she's been working on, and there's like some texture and paint differences in there. So she's trying some new techniques. But because of that, she's been focusing on traditional art, so she hasn't had a lot of time for like hobby art lately, other than the one project she's working on for a commission.
I've been busy with other things.
Yeah, and yeah, I think it has something to do with the aerosol. That there's something to do with the I think it's acetone, because I think it's the acetone in the paints, because you can't get it. It's a caustic chemical technically. And so since it's an under pressure caustic chemical, they're having a hard time shipping them across the ocean. And like I said, so I found out that GW paints, I actually talked to somebody that were like, I talked to them not this past weekend, but a week and a half, like the previous weekend, who actually works in the plant here in Wisconsin where the GW paints are made, which was interesting to find out that their spray paints are actually made here. Who took my dice? Good to see you. Good to see everybody. So, Ben, I want to quick go back to those regiments of renown. You got the dwarf regiment of renown. How is it? I mean, obviously it's the one for the Caradon overlords. How does it play? What does the regiment do differently? Does it have like a slightly different set of rules for it, or an additional rule for them? Kind of like a specialty. Oh, it's like a unit you can attach into any order army. Okay, that's kind of cool. And I don't know, they just look cool. That's fair. That as well is fair. But that is an interesting point. They can just be attached into any order army as a regiment. That's kind of neat, though. That's still That's still kind of cool. I gotta admit, I mean, I was looking at the Caradon stuff, and I love their aesthetic. Well, any except cities. Well, because cities is weird right now. I can't wait till they get rules for cities. I've got a whole bunch of old cities figures that I really want to pop out and play. And speaking of old figures coming up, it's because cities just can't take them. Oh, it's because cities can take them just as regular units. That makes sense. Speaking of older models are coming new again. Old World just released some shots of the upcoming Tomb Kings sprues and the no, not the sprues themselves, but some of the specialty pieces for the Tomb Kings and for the Bretonians. So those of us who played back in the old days can I don't know how I am, because I remembered how bogged down that game got to be at times. Again, I'm reminded of Heresy and how excited I was for it, and then realized how boring the game actually was.
That sounds like a personal problem.
It is a personal problem. I mean, I want other people to play it and enjoy it. I just don't. I like Age of Sigmar the way it is. I like 40K the way it is. I gotta say, I really do love Age of Sigmar. Like, I've been really excited about playing it. I really hope so. Dice, I really, really hope so. I've got an old orc army that's literally sitting right below me. It's like 10 pounds of lead. But I've got a complete orc army that I really want to get going again. Yeah. I mean, it'd be nice. I also have some nice 3D sets that would be pretty cool some 3D printed sets would be nice to use. Sorry, a friend of mine asked me a question here. Part of me really wants to see what it's going to be about. I don't think I'm going to jump dead into it right off the bat unless the Bretonians and Tomb Kings are the two armies in the starter box set. Then I'm going to be kind of forced to. Because the Bretonians were literally Little D's favorite army. When he was little, he used to play with the few Bretonians I still had. And the Tomb Kings, I love them so much. Thank you, dear. Yeah. I love them though. They were so good. Good to hear, Paler. Good to hear you done. Like I said, I played a tournament this weekend. I went 2-1 on a small RTT. My third round was my guard against Gaz and a bunch of Goffs, and I pulled it out, but only barely. 89-85 was a really close game. I mean, the first army I played in Old Warhammer, in the original Warhammer Fantasy, was the High Elves. I had a huge High Elf with a assortment of. I had some Wood Elves attached to them, and a small force from them, mainly because I wanted the Tree Dancers, or I forget what they were called. There were a bunch of skirmishers with shield and axe that I could just run all over the board with, while the rest of my elves just kind of sat there using archers and cavalry with spears to protect them, and I could run um, those skirmishers all over the place. Um, and I love that army. That was so much fun to play. Um, and so there's some thought about getting back in it because I got out of it then. I got back in a couple times. I bought a box set here or there and put it back. Like I had a bunch of Bretonians for a long time that were built and had a base coat on them. They had they were literally a single color. I don't even think it was a color. I think they were primed. I just had them primed white, and that was it. Um, well, if you get over there, Orc, I'd love to see you stream some of that stuff. I haven't, um, it's weird. I've been watching all this social media lately, and that's one of the things. I've been watching a lot of Instagram. I've been looking at a lot of things on Instagram. I've been looking at a lot of things on Facebook, specifically just towards the hobby end of things. Um, a little bit here on TikTok, um, a lot on YouTube. One of the noticeable things is that I realized like the other day, there's a lot of like content that's been generated in the last like 6 months that I haven't been watching a lot. And I'm kind of disappointed like that. Like Winter SEO, I haven't watched a Winter's SEO battle report in months. I haven't watched a 40 and 40 since their season not 3 finale, and they've done a ton of stuff since then. I haven't watched any of it. I haven't. I think the only real content I've been watching on for 40K on YouTube specifically been a couple painters that I've been trying to pick up some techniques from. Um, Specifically, I think I've been watching Ninjan and Goobertown, and that's about it. Oh, and of course Emil over at Squidmar. But that's pretty much it. I haven't watched much of Miniac in a while. Like I said, I haven't watched an actual battle report in a bit. I've seen a couple on. I watched more battle reports on the 40K on Warhammer TV than I actually have in the game in YouTube. So weird that way. Um, like I keep meaning to get with a couple people. Knox and I've talked about doing some co-op content, and I want to get a couple battle reports in before ninth is over. I saw it. I admit I saw his AOS hate video and I watched a couple bits of it. Um Here's the thing about Miniac. Um Let me put it in terms like this. I know what I know, but I'm also an idiot. And I know that if I get things wrong, I'm willing to point out to it. And I know that there are people who know better than me. And if I get corrected, oh yeah, shit, I was wrong. And I own up to that. And as a content creator, I do not take my stuff very seriously. I'm here to have fun. I'm here to have fun with the people that watch it. And he just rubs me entirely the wrong way about how important he is and how I just there are times that I don't like his content. I think after the whole blow up at the Age of Darkness reveal, the Horse Heresy reveal, I think after that and the way he's reacted, I've really kind of dropped off being a fan of his. Yeah, and I've seen a couple other people take him to task, a couple other painters take him to task because I mean, just posing is AOS a trash game? No, it's a fun freaking game. Is it a great competitive game? I have no idea, but I know I enjoy the shit out of playing it. So, um, he can screw off. I mean, just Scott, just shut up. Just shut up and go back to painting videos because your opinions are meaningless. I just, I don't know. I mean, I know he's got a huge following base. He's got a huge fan base. He's got a massive follower base, and he's got a bunch of Simpson fanboys. And I know when everything blew up with 30K, that was when I stopped being a fan. I was giving him $1 a month, and I went, nah, not anymore. Not doing that anymore. I take that back. I've been watching a lot of Midwinter Minis too. I love Midwinter Minis because he's just, hi, I'm Guy, here to have some fun. We're gonna do something neat today. La la la. You know, I like Guy. Guy is the kind of presenter I'd like to be. Maybe a little bit more animated, but I love his stuff. I love Ninja because he just doesn't take anything seriously. And Goober's just nice. Goober's just nice. Emil's the same way. Emil's silly. I like Emil because he's good, but he's silly. Yeah, exactly. And that's exactly it, Dice. That's exactly it. Like, I'm never gonna be a big channel. I'm gonna be happy where I'm at. I'd like to get around 700. I'd love somebody to be to 1,000, but I'm never gonna see myself blowing up. And one of it's because I don't I have so many other things going on in my life. I can't see divesting so much of my time and effort to turn this into what would be a professional looking production. I mean, I'd like to, but at the same time, I'm a realist. Uh, I mean, I am a realist. Um, and I'm cool with what I got. I'm cool that I have some friends that I've made through the show, and I'm cool that I can talk about it, and people want to talk about the stuff I want to talk about. I'm good with that. I'm okay with that. I'm good with knowing that I am an okay painter. I may someday be a good painter. I might even someday manage to be a great painter, but I doubt it. My goal is to put an army on the table in a quick amount of time and have people go, hey, that looks pretty cool. Like I did with my guard. You know, I painted up 70 guard in a week at one point. I painted up a bunch of teams and redid the basing, and people oohed and ahhed over the bases that I did for them. And that's cool. You know, it made the army realize, you know, I mean, the army's kind of plain. So the bases jumped out and jumped at people and looked really good. I'm kind of doing the same thing, trying to, with my latest experiment. I'm messing around with my Necrons finally. I have an idea. I have one squad. I'm just going to paint the one squad this way, and I think I'm going to see if it works. And if it works the way I want, I think it'll be pretty cool. If it works out the way I want, it'll be pretty cool. And it'll be unique. And I think at this point in the game, that's the best I'm going to do. There are definitely people in my hobby group, in my hobby circle, in the tournament circle I go to, that are better painters than me. No doubt. Tina and Ben are a pair of them. I don't have a problem with that. I don't measure myself against other people. But I love being able to put an army down and have people go, wow, that looks cool. And that's what I want to do. I want to be able to put an army down and go, wow, that looks cool. I eventually want to get to my best table runner in the world. That's the thing. I'm there to get them ready. I want them to look cool, though. I mean, that's why I put the work in the bases I do, because bases are easy. Base work is easy for me. That's the stuff that's like I got that. I can make a base look bad ass, no problem. Figures, it's a lot of little lines. There's a lot of little edges, and I got big fat sausage fingers. So I know my limitations, but I don't hate on people for being good. And that's the weird thing. Like I find some people get all "Ugh," about people being better than they are at something in the hobby. Try my special armies. And that's the thing. I don't want to be that bad. Like I'm not that guy. I have some standards. I mean, my guard don't look bad. Now, admittedly, my guard are like 90% contrast, but they're still not bad. I've got a solid color scheme. I've got definite areas. I do a lot of cleanup, so it looks good. I mean, my guard look good. They don't look bad. They're definitely diorama type figures. They're not going to win any awards. They're not going to make you go, ah, but you put a team of these guys down together, and they all match up, and they all look good together. Well, I mean, that's what you're going for. So I put the extra effort in the basing. Okay, I can live with that. Let the bases tell the story of what the figures are doing. You're awesome at not painting lately. Right now I'm awesome at volume of painting. I just crested 150 figures painted for the year so far, and the next 2 weeks, and I'm hitting a lull where I've gone through like almost everything I had primed and built. So I'm going back through now and I'm priming and building another batch, and I'm going to go through and get them knocked out. And I'm going to probably end up by the end of May having like 3 to 4 thousand, maybe 5,000 points of Necrons all built and painted and ready to go. If this scheme works, it's simple, but it should jump out at people, and that's my goal. That's what my goal really is. And it's something I can do in the little spare time I have right now. And that's the bigger issue right now, is that I don't have a ton of spare time right now. I have the hour and a half during the show. This is one of my nights. So at 9 o'clock, when I sign off from the show, I paint for like an hour to 2 hours. Most nights I get off of work, I come home, I take a quick power nap for my first job. I go to my second job. I go there for 5 hours. I come home. I paint for like an hour and then I go to bed. So Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays are like my only days off. Well, Tuesdays I have my show that takes up half my evening. Thursdays I'm trying to do stuff with my wife and with my friends, so I lose a part of a day there. And Sundays I've been trying to get hot hammered, but that just hasn't been happening the last couple weeks because I've had other things going on. And it's just like, but I have other things going on. I'm spending time with my wife and getting, quality time with her. And it's just like, what can I do without going anywhere? I can build and paint. And it's been helping me keep my sanity. And it's helping me clean up the room because I'm going through boxes of figures at a time, and then they get boxed, they get painted, and they put on the shelf. They box and painted and put on the shelf. You could literally bring her. Sometimes I can. I don't want to talk about it too deeply because it's not my place to talk about it. But it is not due to a lack of love of all of you that she would love to come every week. Because she does love and adore all of our friends at Hot Hammer Sundays. Unfortunately, I am not the only person in this house that suffers from not always in the best frame of mind. And unfortunately, when she's in her not best frame of mind, one of the bigger issues she has is anxiety. So she gets into a space and it's not a space of comfort for her, and she kind of goes, oh, and we got to go. And because my gaming time is great, but my time with her is more important. There are some Sundays where she's just like, I need you to be near me today. And I do, and I'm fine with that. It means I don't get to game as much, but that's okay because she then understands when I want to go do something. She's like, okay, go do something. And I go do it. And it's fine. And you guys know, if you're in a good relationship, it's a give and take situation. I give, she takes. It works. No, it's not that bad. She's in a spot right now, and it's okay. I mean, we get through these things. It's life. It's how life moves forward. But she does want to come more often. She wants to come. She wants to talk. She wants to be around more people. She's trying to acclimate to being around more people, but there's just some days she's just questionable. So seems kind of questionable. And that's why I'm like trying to get her into doing other hobbies, other art. Although she's really loved painting big figures right now. She's working on this Archeon and it looks really good. And when she's done with Archeon, she hasn't decided if she wants to do her Avatar of Cain or she wants to do Magnus the Red. She has both of them and is looking at both of them. She's also looking at Sisters of Battle. She wants to get into them, and I've got her some Sisters of Battle, and I might get her a Triumph from St. Catherine, so she has a big, meaty, crazy-looking diorama type piece to do, or I might get her a Morgan Val, so she just has a big heroic character to work on. So we'll see. I don't know how much she wants to play the game, but she definitely wants to build and paint the game. And for the longest time, I was like, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get what you. I'm starting to get it. Like my Stormcast, I don't really want to paint. I don't really want to play my Stormcast. I don't enjoy the way they play on the table, but I love the look. And so, like, I want to take a bunch of the ones that I have that are unpainted at this point, and instead of painting up to be in combat, because a lot of them are duplicates of other kits I have, I kind of want to build some dioramas with them. You know, I think that'd be kind of cool. Take a bunch of them that are standing like this and turn them into a terrain piece, like, oh, it's a temple of the gods or something. I don't know. I've got a bunch of ideas. I got a lot of unpainted, built Stormcast that I get to think about that with. I've also got a bunch of unbuilt Stormcast. Yeah, exactly. And that's exactly it. And it's more important to me that she heals in her own way. I don't need to torment her. I just I torment her in her own special way. So I mean, Age of Sigmar, like I said, I'm digging Age of Sigmar a lot now, and I'm reading a lot of it. And that's the other thing. I've been reading a lot more blogs. That's the other thing is reading social media and reading blogs about armies, and it's got me looking at some armies that I haven't looked at before. Going, that's kind of an interesting mechanic. That looks kind of fun to mess with. I've always loved Skaven, and I'm looking again at Skaven going, that's a lot of models to paint. But they're really fun. Oh, do I need that? Looking at orcs too. I think not the swamp ones. The swamp ones suck. Oh god, I don't like them at all. I don't know. I don't really need to get into another army right now. I need to take the models I have and get them finished being built and paint. Built and painted, that's the goal. Buy as few models as possible, but get the ones I have finished and done to be on the table and move forward. And I have to keep reminding myself of that because I keep getting Imperium Magazine where I get things like this and they make me go, do I want to build this as a heliotrope reactor or do I want to go get a furnace because the furnace is the exact same diameter as this. So you can literally take a furnace, put it on its side, and cap it with these two, and then make some kind of giant tank thing. And then since I picked up with one of the other boxes, one of the other magazines of Imperium, I got this. I think with that, I could make like a big superstructure. And instead of having pipes lying all over the place, I could build a superstructure. Then I saw somebody take this part of the model where there's the plasma ridging and removed it and there's some plastic you can get that looks just like it, but it's clear, and replaced it with the clear pieces, or not clear, but there's like a smoky color. Yeah, I've been seeing pieces of that. The new Sigmar one looks kind of cool. It's just it has a lot of again, it goes back to having a lot of the swamp works, and I have an entire half of Dominion that I haven't touched because I don't like the aesthetic of those orcs. I kind of want to. I don't even know what I want to do with them. I'm just glad that I got this. But if I knew somebody that liked those orcs, I'd be like, cool, let's both get the subscription. I'll give you the orcs, you give me the other half. But I mean, the Dominion subscription is, I mean, the Imperial magazines, I mean, you get a frame like this. I've gotten like 4 of these. It's so awesome. I have so much extra terrain now. It's just, I need to get this place straightened out so I can get some games going in the house. I think that'll also help the wife get used to being around people, bringing strangers into the den. Do we want to talk about rumors? I kind of do and I kind of don't. Because there's part of me that wants to talk about the rumors, and there's definitely part of me that does not want to talk about the rumors. Cogs of Ashtor. I guess they're okay. I guess they're okay. I wasn't really super like. It has teeth, but so does a lot of chaos. They look like they have teeth, but they still die to shooting. And that's the problem right now is that shooting seems to be ruling the game. Melee just doesn't seem to get there, and most of the engines just don't have the guns. Have I gone through this shit? I haven't completely. I have not. I heard you talking about them the other day when we were talking about it in chat. I was looking at them. I'm going to be honest with you. One of the biggest reasons I'm not excited about it, I hate the way the Vastra figure looks. I thought it was going to be cool, and then I saw one like the complete model the way that they're box painting it, and I looked at it and I'm like, I don't actually like the model. And I hate to say it, but that's if I don't like the model, I don't want to play the army. Um, which is kind of weird, but at the same time, it's like, I mean, you can have the coolest rules ever, but if your model looks like garbage, I don't want to play you. I mean, again, you go back to my whole thing against the Swamp Works. I've heard that their rules have been changed a little bit and they're a lot better now. I still don't like them. I still don't like the way they look. Exactly, and that's the thing because like I look at the chaos engines. I love the chaos engines. I love the decimator. I love the choo choo train of doom. The forged fiend. The both versions of both variants of the fiend. I love demon engines. I mean, my favorite variant of my Death Guard army is to play the big engines version. Um, you know, I look at Vastro, it's like if I got him, I would want to modify the crap out of him and paint him so differently. And the problem is, I kind of want the box. And then this will make your heart because I kind of like the new the newer looks and some of the things going on with the Dark Angels. Ugh. I've been slowly falling for the Dark Angels. I've And that's true because the thing is on the chaos side, the only thing I want would be Vashtor because I literally have three spiders. I literally have like eight of the obliterators. I don't need anything more that's in that box. I have the fiends. I need him. That's it. The angel half I kind of want. That whole box is weird, dude. They just threw some random models in that box, in my opinion. I still. No, Ben, you're missing my point. That's the half I actually want. Well, and that's the thing. I don't think there is good value in that box, and that's the part of the problem is that I I have in various hidey holes around my house a, a, a large portion of Dark Angels that I've slowly put together. I've got yeah, yeah, and I guess that's part of the problem because they jumped the shark on this one because of what everybody's hearing in the rumor of who's coming out in book 4 when the lion's going to be hitting the table. If it really is true, if they really are going to drop the lion and he's going to be the next Primarch and they're going to put him down, why did they do this box first? And why did they construct this box the way they did? I don't like it. Well, yeah. And those last two comments, sell models, obviously, and extra spoons lying around the need to offload them. That's exactly it. I mean, and now they're showing off these pictures of the Terminators in the eye, and then they flip it around, and it's a Tyranid with a Terminator with a Tyranid in the eye. What are they doing? Are they pushing the 10th box this early? We're in March. I'm hoping that's the case. I'm hoping it's either a new edition of Space Hulk or it's a Kill Team box. But I want to point out, and this is the point that somebody made, whenever they've been showing stuff for Kill Team, they haven't used the 40K logo, they use the Kill Team logo. And every time they've shown something that was for some other specialty game, they had a new logo. This used the current 40K logo. I don't think it's either of those things. We'll all find out next week at Adepticon. I think that's what we're all waiting for. I think Adepticon is going to be the big and they're going to freak out and show off a bunch of stuff. They're not going to show off Old World, but they're going to be, they said it's supposed to be cataclysmic. They used that word, cataclysmic. Now, I know GW is great at hyperbole. We all know that they are great at hyperbole. Yeah. Yes, it was. We'll see. Like I said, we'll see. I'm cautiously optimistic. I've heard so many things on the rumor mill from both my rumor mill and Valorac's rumor mill and another group I talked to in Discord's rumor mill and my guy in France. I mean, there's so many rumors going around, and I'm beginning to wonder how many of them are feeding into each other. So at first, yeah, when they were all accurate, and a lot of them have been accurate till now, I just don't want to. I don't want to feed into it too much. I want to be like, you know what? I kind of miss the wonder of, oh, what are we getting now? You know? And I think we got so heavily into the, we found this out and ahead of time that now it's just kind of become a thing. And I don't know that I like that. I kind of want to be, I wanted some amazement and wonder again. What are we getting next time? I mean, that leads to its own pitfalls. Like everybody thought Prophecy of the Wolf. There were a lot of people that thought Prophecy of the Wolf was going to be the return of Russ. And we got a Primaris Ragnar. Not that I mind a Primaris Ragnar, but you want to talk about a letdown for a Wolf player. You know, and I'll tell you what, Tina, if it is a re-release of Space Hulk, I will applaud that. I will go buy 3 copies right then and there, just so I have one to play with, one to sit in a shelf, and one to hang on to and sell in 20 years when the next time they release that goddamn game. Or keep it just for spare parts when I lose parts, because I've been trying to get my hands on a goddamn copy of Space Hulk for the last 25 years, and I never seem able to get my hands on one for anything resembling retail. I had a chance to get my hands on a copy of Space Hulk at like 5 times retail. I'm like, nah, I'm not. You have Space Hulk. It's such a good game. It's such a fun game. Oh, it is such a fun game. It should be played more often. It should be brought out and played. When they started releasing this boarding actions terrain, my whole mindset was like 40K Space Hulk for reals. Let's go. It's the main reason I want to play boarding actions. I think some of the rules are dumb, and I think the concept behind what they think they're going to do is dumb. But I'll be goddamned. If I can take a crew of 5 Terminators led by a Terminator captain, let's go. Let's go kill anybody in hallways of a dead Space Hulk. I love the idea. I absolutely love the idea. Let's go. I'm a simple man. Anytime I can play Terminators, I'm happy. Terminators are telling you, man. Good to see how it works. Telling you, Terminators are my favorite model in 40K, bar none. Bar none. Terminators. What is the answer? Terminators. What's the question? What's the best model GW produces? Terminators. End sentence. Yes, it absolutely is. You don't need the books. All the rules for playing boarding actions, all the rules for playing boarding actions are on their website. It's all you need. You just come up with the missions on your own. And you know what? If you're a lover of lore, those books are cool because they've got missions. But I think Arcs of Omen has missions you can run. I don't know. I think maybe it's the other book of Arcs of Omen. And it might be the hardcover books that has the boarding actions missions. I can't argue with you, Chris. Dreadnoughts are a real close second love. I mean, I do, and I like the old Dreadnoughts. I mean, yes, the Redemptor, there's something nice about the Redemptor, but the old box with Robbie the Robot legs, there's something hilarious about that model. Look, it's Robbie the Robot legs, a television, and guns. What's not to love? And Primaris Terminators, if they keep them in the Indominus armor, or at least the Indominus helmet, the Hippo helmet, fine. I'm still of the opinion if they had taken the Gravis armor, if they had taken the figures of Gravis armor and given them the Indominus Hippo head, the Terminator Hippo head, if they'd given them those helmets, nobody would have complained about Primaris. They didn't even have to go and explain it. They just had to go, hey, it's a new mark of armor, and they're bigger because we wanted to make the models bigger. That's the problem. They went and made all this lore behind the bullshit about Primaris. In my mind, they made the models bigger. I don't care. They're the same goddamn models. Who cares? I would take Primaris, take my firstborns, and play them in the same way. I'm going to take intercessors and take the 5th intercessor and give him a plasma gun. Look, it's a 5-man squad of tactical Primaris Marines. Who cares? Just make the jump and be done with it. Make all Marines. All Marines are equal. I mean, you look at the Dark Angels, and currently in game, their best list is 100% firstborns because it's nothing but Terminators and whoever the guy with the jet bike is. That's it. That's their army. Maybe a couple bikes in there, but it's basically got Terminators. I mean, come on. What's not to love about that list? I mean, if I could get away running a list of Space Wolves where I could run 3 groups of 5 Terminators, 3 groups of 5 Relic Terminators, and then something else, I'd be okay with that. I mean, let's go, boys. Terminators are good. They are universal good. Who cares if they're firstborn or not? Put some Terminator helmets on your freaking aggressors and let's go. They'd have done that, I'm telling you, there'd have been no complaining about them. Oh, they're the upgraded Terminator armor. Let's go. Yeah. I don't know about the Cataphracti. I think the I forget what the other ones are called, but because those guys are the same shape as the Gravis armor. The other ones, what are they called? I forget what they're called. They're the other Terminator armor. Yeah, the Tartaros armor. The Tartaros armor and the Gravis armor are very similar. You could take Tartaros upgrades and put them right on Gravis armor and they would fit. Marines are Marines. Let's just play them. I love Marines. I love all flavors of Marines. I was talking to a guy at the store the other day, Monday night. So yesterday. And he's an Imperial Fist player. And they are in such a bad place as a chapter right now with the current rules on them. I feel bad because their super rules are bad, and their main rules are like, well, so let's just play them as a whatever chapter. Let's play them as a successor chapter and give them our own rules. And it's like, that does feel nasty because then you can't play Tor Garadon without paying extra to have him. But at the same time, it's just like, they shouldn't have to. The exploding 6s on bolt weapons should be good. It's just that bolt weapons suck. And being able to do an extra point of damage versus vehicles, I think that's what it is. Oh no, they get to ignore cover. Nobody uses obscuring terrain anymore. It's like it's either blocking or not. I'm not gonna. It feels bad. Feels bad, man. I hope when 10th edition drops or when the Marine rework happens, whichever happens first, I hope the Fists get remade into a good army. I want every army to be good. Like, I want every army. I think every army should be good. I don't think that it's okay to have, well, they're not really good right now. I don't like that. I think if you can look at an army and go, they're not very good right now, then they need to be addressed. And I think this is why, you know, it's one of the reasons I really like the guys that do a Song of Fire and a Song of Ice and Fire. If an army or a unit is just not performing, they review it. They go, why is this army, why is this unit, why is this army not doing anything? Well, because of XYZ. All right, well, let's change that. How would we make it? Let's test it and see if this makes it better. All right, do we like that? All right, let's put it out there. Here's the new rules for them, guys. Try this now. Here's the updated card. You can download and print them out if you want. Boom, done. It's okay for new units to be powerful as long as they're willing to scale them back later. It's not okay for something existing to suck for an extended period of time. Call me controversial. Yeah. But then again, I'm also of the opinion that in Arcs of Omen, I had the weird thought. In Arcs of Omen, the rule of 3 is in place, except if your chosen specialty, the one you're choosing, like my troop choice, my specialty choice is elites. Okay, I choose elites. You should be able to add like a 4th. So it's not the rule of 3. It's the rule of 3, but when you're chosen, you can add a 4th. Maybe not 6. I want to double them, but at least be able to add an extra one. I want to put 20 Terminators on the table. I want to put 4 Dreadnoughts on the table. I want to put 4 Executioner tanks on the table. But again, that's just me musing on how, I mean, the nice thing about it is that Arcs of Omen, I can see some of the complaints about it, but one of the things I really like is that it's really shaken up how you build an army, and I dig that. I dig the idea that we're going to change the way you've been building armies for the last 6 years, the last 8 years, by putting this in it. We're changing the rules on how an army is constructed, and that's kind of cool. Now, admittedly, this past weekend, it wasn't that cool when I had to deal with the first time I've seen a Triptide in 7 or 8 years. God damn it. 3 Riptides on the table. I was not pleased. Let me tell you, Riptides do a lot of damn damage. Yes, I lost a Triptide. Okay, so here's the thing, Knox. Let me explain to you what happened. Because I know everyone else that faced against him just crushed that army. I'm giving away the secret on how to beat, because everybody's like, well, how do you beat Guard? How they just score points like crazy? There is a very easy way to beat Guard. Especially for Triptide. The big way Guard scores points is by having bodies. Triptides delete a squad of Guard just like that. 3 Riptides going first. Half my infantry's gone. Not scoring as many points now, am I? Especially when he took all of them, he overloaded the one side and took all the infantry on one side of the board. Not scoring boots on the ground real easily. I can still score in flexible command, but I'm not scoring boots on the ground. Round 2, he went and took out most of the rest of my infantry. I played most of that game, still scoring points, but I was forced to use one of my squads of Kazarkins to score points rather than kill things. Why'd you let him do the? Oh, I don't know. Let me see how I can stop the Tau from moving 40,000 inches and then shooting everything they see and then running away. Yeah, no, he literally. I mean, it's easy to stop the rootinest, tootinest, shootinest army in the game from shooting my weakest crap. It's easy. Yeah, I mean, and they're few. We are many. They are many shots. Man, he had a 5-man squad of. He made a Burt squad. You know what I mean by Burt squad? He had a 5-man squad of crisis suits that were twin burst cannon and an ion cannon. Oh, my army is the army that goes, oh Lord, no. You know, I mean, I was hoping he was going to run into that 137 Gaunt army because that would have been funny to watch him chew through that many Gaunts in one round. But yeah, he did that to my guard. I mean, he took that Burt squad. He's like, I'm going to put half the shots here and half the shots there. And then we're going to fade away. Oh, both of you are gone. Boop, fade away. Damn, I never get a shot on him. Now, admittedly, I put the teleported the Karskins onto that unit and pounded them into the dirt. But not before he bleeded several of my units, of my scoring units. And yeah, he only got a couple rounds with those Riptides before my tanks chewed him in pieces. But that was still enough. Like I said, it was a close game. It was 79-72. You know? The problem is they get stronger as the game goes on. I didn't leave them with many units, but I left them with enough, apparently. It was much sadness. I had much sadness to have. Yeah, imagine my surprise when I watched later in the day and just watching him just getting pounded by other armies. I'm going, why wasn't that me? So I felt bad. But that wouldn't have mattered because if I had managed to beat him, I would have probably ended up against Mansour or Eric, and that would have been that wouldn't have been any fun. I saw what Eric was doing to people, and I saw what Mansour was doing to people, and that was not a fun time. It made me want to go and play Age of Sigmar. Let me tell you. I can do that with my ogres. That's not fun. All right, folks. Well, we're going to wrap this up. Let me give a quick shout out to my lovely Patreons. Again, if you'd be so kind as to hit that like button. If you're not a subscriber, to go ahead and hit subscribe. If you are a subscriber, remember to ring that bell so that you find out when I'm doing my next post. I'm going to a quick shout out to my current Patreons. We've got the lovely and beautiful Tina Raven. We've got my man, the mini war mutt. We've got my brother, the master modeler, Alex Drake. And that covers my $1 Battle Brothers. I've got my $3 Battle Brothers. I've got Joe Bookish. And I've got Mithros, Kushanada. No, I don't. I don't have deep Mithros, Kushanada. I have Ben Karaskiel. Something's weird. I had lost a couple people here. I got backed away by Mythos. I gotta earn back Mythos here. But lastly, I have my $10 followers. I have the Commodore, my man Nick, and the lovely Pirate Phoenix Jesse. I want to thank everyone for showing up tonight. I want to thank everyone for being here. Next week, we're going to be doing some talking and some prep for Adepticon. So expect to talk about Adepticon a lot, what we're anticipating, what's going on, what we're going to hear, what we're hearing on the rumor mill, what they're talking about, and what's coming for Kill Team, Age of Sigmar, and 40K, as well as Underworlds. That was the other game they talked a lot about. So we must have a new season of Underworlds coming up real soon. So until then, keep rolling, game on, and stay epic.